Welcome to another episode of Otherworldly Encounters with Mike and Brian. How you doing, bud?
4th of July, man. Independence Day. We're doing a podcast on UFOs. Like, all we need is Will Smith to show up in a UAP outside and walk in and we'll have a scar.
Yeah, that would be pretty badass. I mean, I'm wearing my America shirt.
Yeah, I got my natural light. All we do is win shirt on.
Love it. Love it. All right, just before we get into our weapons of choice today, we just want to apologize once again. This episode is not going to be with our pilot buddy. Sometimes it's hard for Brian and I to even get our schedules lined up, but you throw a third person in there, it's like herding cats, and that's kind of where we're at right now. But the show will happen. It's just a matter of when. So not to delay any more content, we're just going to start, recording some stuff that we had on our radar in the first place, and then we'll circle back with Sean once he's able to make a day work for all of us. So what is your weapon of choice today?
Well, I went non-traditional. We're doing this earlier in the day than normal. It's 11 a.m. on July 4th. So it's kind of a morning drink, and it's the Zing Zang Bloody Mary that is 9% by volume.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, I am just going with the Founders All Day IPA because it says all day in it, and we're starting early.
Yeah, can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
Exactly. All right, so I believe we found some pretty interesting topics to cover today. I'm going to start out with the Las Vegas UFO/alien incident happened last year, so it's fairly recent.
Yeah.
All right. So really, it started with the Kenmore family out in Las Vegas.
Hey, Mike, just real quick, did this? I feel like this wasn't even. This didn't get released on one of the typical like UFO channels that I would like kind of follow, like George Knapp or Jeremy Corbell or any of those documentary guys that have done UFO stuff. Like, I think this actually like made news because it was a police body cam shot coming down or something. Am I thinking of the right thing?
Yes and no. So you've got the body cam part correct, and a body cam did capture a white streak light coming out of the sky. That's one part of it, but that officer wasn't actually at that call. It was a separate incident, and he just happened to capture it. But moments after he captured that, a 911 call came in from the Kenmore family saying that they had 2 or 3 9 to 10 foot beings or creatures in their backyard. So that's, coincidence? I don't know. Here we go.
This is actually a really relevant topic on July 4th, and we referenced it earlier, but Independence Day, like that's or am I thinking of Signs? Are the aliens in Signs the super tall ones?
I don't remember.
Now I kind of forget in Independence Day if they were big or not.
Yeah, just throw out BS.
Anyway.
All right. So separate incident. You did have a police officer who captured the light streaking out of the sky, and then the 911 call reporting 2 to 3. I don't remember if it was 2. I know it was at least 2. Might have been 3. 9 to 10 foot creatures in their backyard. Now, where this got to your question about how did this get so big, or how did it get released, is when the Las Vegas PD or whatever police department that was, when they released their body cam footage, that's when it hit the news. That's when it kind of blew up.
Okay.
Is at that point.
Okay.
But then since then, I mean, all kinds of people have picked this up, kind of like us. We're a little late to the ball game, but they've picked it up and ran it, and they've tried to debunk it. Now, you do have some skeptics out there, and this is my favorite one. This one guy, and I don't remember his name, but he was like, oh, it's a raccoon. Now, if you watch the video, I mean, we live in a rural area, right?
A lot of raccoons.
We've seen a lot of raccoons. Definitely not even close to raccoon. But I think my favorite part of it, he was like, oh, well, it could be a raccoon or even a coyote. Well,
those are two very different things.
We have coyotes out here, and we've seen coyotes, and there's no coyote to jump up on probably a 6 6-foot fence.
Oh, so what he was saying is that was walking across but weren't there shadows between the fence boards as well?
Yeah, and we'll talk about that.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
maybe they were in cahoots. You had the coyote on the bottom and the raccoon on top.
Oh, this is kind of like a Disney thing where the raccoon's riding the coyote. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so getting back to that, yeah. So there was that theory that it was some type of an animal, whether it was raccoon or coyote. Myself watching the video, there ain't no way in hell that was a raccoon or a coyote. Just from our personal experiences living out where we live at. Mm-hmm. However, there was a guy. His name is Scott Rauder, and he is an evidence expert and a crime scene reconstructionist. All right, and so he opened his own business. He had 33 years of experience. I think, his background's pretty important. And plus he's got 1,500 cases under his belt. So gives credence to, what he's getting ready to say.
Like a David Fravor of investigators.
Yeah. I mean, this guy has
pretty legit
investigated some shit, and he's seen probably more stuff than any of us have, right? When it comes to crime scenes. But he's the founder of the Evidence Room. And he does have a YouTube channel. I haven't went there and checked it out, but he does have a YouTube channel. But he has software that takes forensic evidence in 3D mapping / animation. So he can take videos, right, and he can determine whether or not they're doctored. All right. So he took that video of where you see the alien, like some type of cloak or cloaking. He took that and he analyzed it. Basically, he took that to try to debunk, the video, just saying, hey, this is BS, this is obviously a doctored video, etc. So what his technology can do, it'll look at the video and determine if an artificial artifact has been added. All right. So, I mean, you're getting deep into the video world, right? When you can pick apart a video somebody took just to determine whether or not there was any like splices or any type of foreign objects that was kind of introduced. Because I'm pretty sure with the way that this video or the evidence or the technology he was using, you would see like a dude behind the fence holding like a stick up with an alien head on top of it, right?
Some fishing line hanging down from the tree.
Yeah.
You're probably right, because like as AI becomes more prevalent and we see, like I've seen a lot of videos that I'm like, wow, if you didn't know it was fake, you would totally believe it because it looks so real. So like being able to debunk that stuff moving forward especially is probably a super important job, especially in this line of like conversation around UFO, UAP.
Yeah, absolutely. And as AI advances, I mean, the technology to try to that can analyze the AI videos it's got to stay one step ahead, is I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's crazy difficult. It just like I immediately think of the analogy with like the drug war, and you've got Cubans making subs that are going under the ocean to come to the U.S., and it's like the technology to like defeat the smugglers. Always got to be one step ahead. Same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's just like we were discussing our past episodes as well. You have these UAPs, UFOs, and we don't know when our radar equipment was able to start seeing them on radar, right? But as of late, we've been able to capture them. So this is kind of to me, this is kind of like the same thing where, our technology is starting to get better. We just got to stay.
I wonder, and apologize, this is kind of a sidetrack, but I wonder if this dude has looked at the Fravor and Graves videos.
I don't know. We'll have to check him out.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to hear his take on those.
Right.
Like as an actual video expert. Because like we said, we were going to link up with your radar buddy, to have that conversation. It'd be interesting to hear if this dude did anything on those. Yeah,
we'll have to look into that. I mean, I don't think the government would doctor a video. All right. Too soon?
If only we had the sound effect for the drum.
Oh, yeah. I think we do. I just don't remember which button that was. Anywho. But with their technology, they were able to definitively say with a scientific degree or certainty that this thing in the video is there in the physical reality of those people. So his technology is saying, no, there was actually something there. Whether it was human, someone standing there and that was human in a mask, or was it, a UA or an alien, whatever. But his technology has determined that no, there is something there, and it was not doctored. It wasn't an edited video. It's raw. It's real. So I thought that was very fascinating.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, it definitely is wild. I mean, and then if you watch that video, because there's several videos, and I'll post a link to one of the news reports in the bio of this episode, but you can see like the family, the Kenmore family, one video, they're walking into their backyard and they just stop. And as they walk through, you've got the two lead people, and then you've got one guy. So you got the third person. Now that third guy is just as he's going through like the threshold of the fence and whatever, right? The opening.
Yeah.
Off to his right, that's where you see the shadow head. And you can kind of, I'm not saying you can't. You can kind of, if you're really squinting, you can make out maybe some like dark,
like an eye feature.
But to the point that it was a raccoon or a coyote, we all have seen you shine headlights, a flashlight into the eyes of a raccoon or a coyote or a dog or whatever at
Anything
night.
that sees at night,
they glow.
Yeah.
And if you look at this video, this is a well lit area. There's lights coming in from all different directions. So if it were to be an animal, for one, I think you would be able to see that distinct glow in the eyes. And if they would have peered, if the eyes would have been like a bright yellow or red, right? I would have been like, that very well could have been some type of animal.
Yeah.
But being that they just remained just dark, it was just like, and they kind of do have that kind of like alien eye look that you see in movies and stuff.
Didn't they also do, because I remember they showed the stick figure, like they placed sticks on the shape of the shadow coming through the fence to like show the outline, and then they actually put a 3D like rendering of what that may be. That was super freaky to see.
Oh, you're talking about Scott's video, the Scott Roeder, his interview.
Yes.
He's using, so if
that was like, oh my, like I can't imagine being this kid walking outside of my fence, and if that's actually what he saw, like, I don't know, I might just have a heart attack right there.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is in the video it's cloaked, right? So my point to that whole thing was that dude was standing there and he did not even see the thing off to his right. What got them freaked out was something in the backyard, right? So when they were walking through, you can see them just come to a stop and they're kind of looking, and all of a sudden they just scatter like cockroaches. So what was back there, I have no idea. It could have that could have been a cat, rummaging through something, made a noise, and it just freaked him out because their senses are heightened at that point. But we do have the video of that object or being, whatever, standing there, taking a little peeky peek. But if you watch that video with the animations that Scott Roeder was able to do, like, they gave it a body, and I think they took that depiction from a drawing that one of the family members drew.
No way.
I think that's where they got
wow,
like what it actually looked like.
Yeah, his sticks lined up really well when he did it with the shape that he created, and it is just like the way that the legs are shaped. Like, I don't even know what would be shaped like that. I guess like.
I don't know. I don't know what would have legs like that. But if you look at the video, it gives you like when I think of an alien, like the movie Alien, it kind of almost had that body, lower body, not the head, but like how like the legs were in Alien.
Yeah,
kind of, sort of. Am I thinking of the right movie? Anywho, but it was pretty cool because he was able to show that there was like through the slats of the fence. You can see legs moving, right? Like the shadow or something back behind the board, which I think just gives more credence to that there was something was standing behind that fence. It just wasn't,
visible.
a balloon or something floating there in free
You know,
space.
what's really weird, like if you assume that this being has the ability to cloak, it's weird that the cloak is just like a monotone color and not like a mirror reflection. You know what I mean? Like I've seen like, and I forget, it's a tank. When I saw the video on YouTube, it's got some kind of video projection where it can project its background in front of it, so you can't even see outside of the heat trail from it. You can't even see that it's there. You would think that they would have something like that because, like, I think the reason you could see it, and you made the point earlier, is that the backyard was pretty well lit, so you could see like a dark mass, almost like a paranormal kind of ghost. Like,
right. When I first watched it, I thought it was more paranormal than anything. It looked like just like a shadow figure, like what you would see, like what I've seen in my garage. But I think when it comes to the cloaking with that one, for one, it was night. It had a tree behind it. And it's the whole point of cloaking is to blend in with your surroundings. So I think for the most part, it did a great job blending in to that background, right? I mean, it's night, so it was just night, dark. But it was almost like it wanted to be seen because it came into focus just for a split second, right?
Yeah, and the camera was backed out and then kind of zoomed in, right? And so you only saw like the bean's last step, and then it was
you really only see like it step in. It kind of like turns its head, like it's like looking to see like who's coming through the fence or the gate, and then it just goes away.
Yeah.
But what's creepy is that the dude that was right there, probably 3 feet, I mean, that's just a guesstimation, from looking at the video, had no idea. Like, he was so focused. Now, he could have had tunnel vision, right? Like, they feel that there's something in the back. They're all looking at the back, so they just have that tunnel vision going on, and maybe that's why he didn't notice the thing off to his right. But it's creepy as shit.
Yeah.
Like, we could be sitting right now, and there could be aliens out there walking around the yard.
Do you think all shadow figures are actually just aliens cloaked?
No, I think shadow figures are definitely paranormal. And so this is going to bring into, like, if we start seeing more of these, it's going to, I think the topic of conversation is going to be, just to your point, like, are shadow figures UFO, or like aliens, or how do you differentiate the two? But yeah, I mean, that's a good question. Because now I'm standing in my garage at night after a podcast and I see a shadow figure. I have to figure out if it's an alien or if it's an actual shadow figure.
So I think I remembered the movie I was trying to think of that these look similar to, and it's Signs. And that's the Mel Gibson movie where he lives out in the country and his wife got in a car accident, said a bunch of weird shit. Aliens show up, turns out they're like water is acid to them, and they kill him off. Regardless, the first time that anyone sees an alien is this like patio footage of a birthday party. That's the alien, and that actually looks pretty close to what this dude drew out.
Yeah, it's fairly close, absolutely. Yeah.
But it's like the weird leg thing you were talking about, like too many joints in the leg. I don't know, it was super weird.
I'm gonna have to invest in a sprinkler system out here.
Right?
Safety first.
That movie was really goofy because the daughter, her thing was always leaving glasses of water everywhere, and then the one brother played baseball. So at the end, it's so cheesy. He gets the baseball bat and is just crushing glasses of water onto this alien, then he beats it with the bat.
Nice.
You gotta love July 4th.
Yeah, I know. It's a great time of year.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this one?
Man, there's just I think for me, right, the how do you corroborate anything to one another? Probably the one thing that's interesting with the video is, and it doesn't give credence to what the shadow is or isn't, but that dude, once he turned to his right after he walked out of the fence, was like ultra shocked and jumped back.
Yeah.
So like there's definitely something there. Was it a shadow figure? Was it an alien? The investigator did a really thorough job, it seemed like, in the recreation. It was like, holy shit. Like you can see that. I'm going to say there's probably some truth to this somewhere.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think, as we've discussed in the past, like give us tangible evidence, give us something we can look at, give us, some expert stuff. And you really have all that in this video. You've got the light captured from a separate officer streaking through. The family reported when they called 911, said they had these creatures in their backyard. When the officer got there, if you watch his body cam, the officer says, "Hey, like I was, someone down the road saw the light or whatever. It could have been the same officer. I'm not sure at this point, but they're like, oh yeah, we saw the streak." And then so you've got body cam footage, you've got personal footage, and you've got this expert Scott Roeder who used all of his fancy gadgets to debunk it and wasn't able to. And so I'm right there with you. I think that this is plausible. I think there was something definitely there, whether it was alien or not, who knows, but there was definitely something there.
I like that. Plausible.
Definitely plausible.
Okay.
But I actually foresee a lot more of this stuff starting to come out.
Yeah, just with everyone carries a camera in their pocket now. So
Yeah.
you can literally, if you think about it, pull it out and film anything.
Now, the other thing obviously this isn't a money grab for this family because, like I say, the only reason it was released is because the PD released the body cam footage. They didn't reach out to any news outlets or anything like that. News outlets started reaching out to them once they had the video. But to all of our listeners out there, don't show up randomly at people's houses if they report this shit, right? Like, so because this family's now, like, people are jumping their fence to, like, go, they're coming from miles, other states to go, see this house where this
Yeah, that sucks.
alien thing, so give them some privacy, don't be running out there. If you want to go visit or something, get a hold of their attorney or something and try to schedule some type of visitation.
Yeah.
But damn, don't just be showing up people's houses.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So I think this is a great story here. And I think we're going to have more of the same thing in the future.
I hope we do. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I really do. I think that, I definitely find it interesting. I know, like, when we first started doing this, I'm like, it's not really my thing, but man, this is starting to become my thing. It's because it's fascinating. It's interesting. It's the unknown, right? Because it really messes with you a little bit because a part of me wants it to be real, but a part of me doesn't want it to be real because It's like, if it is real, then what? And
it's just pedestal smashing. It smashes all religious ideas.
Yeah, but I guess I take it one step further. We right now we kind of know who our adversaries are right around the globe, but now you're throwing in something outside of our world. Dude. And not knowing, like, are they friend, are they foe, what are their capabilities?
It's July 4th. It's just like the movie Independence Day, man. The world has to come together to fight the beans.
Oh boy, yeah. Well,
but I mean, in all seriousness, it's those three questions, right? Are we alone? What happens when we die? And where do we come from? Like, that would be help progress answers to those. But in answering any of those, it's just a total mind shift.
Right. I actually was watching this video, and this could be just a bunch of bullshit, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. 2024 is supposed to be, like, pretty significant with UFO, UAP type stuff.
Really? I haven't actually. I mean, that's awesome. I haven't heard that.
Again, I was going to send it to you.
Let's go.
I was going to send it to you, but I was like, I would get that this is bullshit type text back. So I'm like, I'm just going to let this one go. But since we kind of we're looking for something to talk about here, I'm just going to bring it up. But, like, supposedly, like, in September of 2024, I think is it September? No, it's December. Aliens are going to take like 15,000 people to inhabit a different planet, but they're going to do it in a couple different waves, and then they're going to come back and destroy because of our nuclear capabilities and stuff like that. So supposedly. See, that's what I say. That's why I didn't bring it up. That's why I didn't send it to you, 'cause I'm like, oh, it's a complete fucking bullshit.
This is.
But what it was talking about, it was talking about different, like there's supposedly, I think it might be September, there's going to be like the first E6 tornado that goes through Oklahoma or whatnot. So there was it's one of those videos, you know what I mean? So it's like, you got to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, man, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid on this. This is
I'm
like,
not either,
if
but
you
I'm
want to
just
believe
saying.
that, you're like one of those cult groups that like, we're going to go out in the desert and then we'll drink the Kool-Aid and get picked up by the asteroid. Like, come on.
Yeah. Oh, I know. But it was just something like funny.
It is funny.
Funny to talk about.
December, 15,000 in waves.
But
Okay.
the thing is, there's people out there that like hear that shit and they latch onto it, you know, and not, I don't want to say it induces panic, but it does induce fear, especially if there's people that truly believe that the aliens are coming.
Yeah.
And you start putting a product out like that, you're gonna have. I mean, those who wear tinfoil hats and stuff are double layering.
Yeah, it'll be like toilet paper during the pandemic. You won't be able to get any tinfoil.
Yeah, no shit. Boy, what a fucked up time that was. Good God. All right.
Yeah.
So what else you got? What else you want to talk about?
Um.
Let's talk about the jellyfish.
Yeah. What did you think of the video?
Well, you might want to describe it first.
All right. So Jeremy Corbell released this, I think it was last year, it was 2023, a video titled The Jellyfish UAP video. And it was recorded in Iraq in 2018. And it's super weird. It just literally looks like I don't know, like a tentacled balloon just flying over kind of some housing and then part of a base, and then it kind of goes off into the distance. But what's interesting, and it's similar to like the Fravor and Graves scenario where the essay pages weren't released. The video's in total like 17 minutes long, and I think they've only released like 3 minutes of it. So you don't get the remainder of it. But yeah, it's just this like, I don't even know how to describe it. It just looks like a jellyfish in the air just floating.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting video. What's even more interesting is I don't remember what this thing, what they called it, but it was basically what it was captured on. Is like this. Think of like a weather balloon.
Yeah, it was like a blimp.
And it's got a bunch of cameras and stuff on it, and it's floating, you know, along the base, and that's how they're doing some type of like security probably with it. But anywho, but it captured it. But when they kind of dispatched some military members out there to try to get eyes on, they used their night vision. They were using other equipment, but they could not see it.
Right.
But they were able to see it in that balloon thing. But to your point, it literally looked like a jellyfish just kind of hovering. Now, there was a point when I was looking at it, it almost looked like, just from the camera angle, I think, it kind of looked like it could have been like a soldier. Like, you know how they have those like kind of jetpacks now to where they're trying to advance type thing.
Yeah, but the tentacles on the bottom.
Well, that's what I'm saying. At one point from the camera angle, it looked less tentacly.
Oh, okay.
You know, and it looked like more like just maybe two legs sitting there. But from the initial video, it definitely looks like there's some type of stuff hanging down.
You know, I didn't really think about it until right now, but obviously it's camouflaged in some manner. The Vegas video we talked about, the bean was camouflaged in some manner. But it's interesting because whatever this technological video capture equipment was able to pick this thing up. So it makes me wonder, when we talk about like fourth and fifth dimension, are these beings existing in some kind of light spectrum that we can't even see, and they're like here all the time, you just don't even realize it because you can't see it? But maybe we have a couple different camera systems that can capture whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, you can only see, and I don't know enough about it, the science, but like we can only see a very minute amount of the actual light spectrum, right? And there's a lot more to the spectrum that you can't see but we know exists. Yeah,
and the thing about this one, the video's neat. Do I have enough to where I can sit there and be like, yeah, you know, this one's plausible? I mean, obviously you see something flying. The government released it, but that's it. Like, we have I figured with being this happened, it was like 2015, 2018?
2018.
2018. That someone, because I know when I was there in '05, we didn't have like the technology we have today, but we had our own personal like cameras. You would have thought that somebody would have been trying to get video of it, him or herself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now that to me would have provided some more context to it, because now you're getting different angles, but maybe they do have video of it, but it got snatched up real quick.
Yeah. I don't know.
And then, they had to sign an NDA. And
what makes this stuff so hard is like we've talked about, like so much stuff out there is just BS. Like 90% of the stuff you hear is just BS. And it's like, how do you separate this from that? Because to your point, it's just a black object floating through the sky. Like it could be a balloon. And I remember that's what they tried to relate it to. There's some type of Chinese festival balloon that actually looks kind of similar that they use for whatever festival. And they were like, it really looks like this. But then it's like, if that's the case, why is that
making itself from China to Iraq?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think too, when I think of a balloon, like I'm going to say not all, but I would say a majority of people have released a balloon into the air. Right. And even as it's going, right, even if there's strong winds, it's going to go with the wind, but it will always kind of go back and forth with the
That's
current.
A good point.
Right. And this thing was just stationary. It was just hovering.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was staying at a constant speed.
It kind of looked like, and it's hard to tell because it's just black, but it kind of looks like it's rotating based on where the tentacles are positioned throughout the video.
And maybe I missed the rotation, and that's why I was saying maybe the camera angle when I thought it kind of looked like maybe it was like
that
a
could
person
be.
type thing. But the other thing too with the balloon, it's there's not always a constant breeze. Right. So you'll see like a balloon when it's floating, it will go maybe real quick to the left, and then it will start to sink a little bit, and then the wind, then it kicks up, and you can actually physically see that movement of the balloon. You don't have that in this video. It is literally going horizontal. It's not making any like sudden movements like it would you think it would if there was a strong wind current.
Right.
Or a strong breeze. So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either. I think, to use your term from before, this one's plausible. What I think makes it more interesting is that it's military captured, released, more so than civilian, just because the technology is better there. So, it's hard to say that this is legit or it's not, but it sure as hell is interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely plausible. It's definitely interesting. You can literally, I'm going to have to go back and rewatch the video, but to our listeners, I will post both videos in our bio. So I'll have the Las Vegas video, and then I'll also do this jellyfish, air quote jellyfish video in there as well, just to give everybody, so they don't have to go searching for it. Just click right there and get after it.
That's cool. I want to circle back to the family that filmed the video of the being behind the fence and ask you what you think they drink.
Oh, yeah. All right.
I'll start. It's 4th of July. It's America's holiday. And I don't care who you are, but you got to drink some red, white, and blue. And that's original Budweiser. The old Bud Heavy.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm thinking Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Okay.
I mean, it's still Americana.
Red, white, and blue, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to say. But then, it's Las Vegas, man. And when I go to Las Vegas, I think of Corona. Like when I go to Vegas, Corona is my drink of choice. When I'm sitting at a table playing whatever, like that's what it is Corona.
I don't know if I have a drink of choice in Vegas.
Really?
Yeah, I think I just cycle through different things.
So the way that this even started with the whole Corona thing was before I deployed in 2005. We went to Vegas for our libo, and we just got schnockered on Coronas.
Yeah.
And so every time I go out there now, it's just
that's what it is.
Drinking Corona.
Good for you.
Yeah, man. It's a good drink out there.
I mean, I enjoy a good Corona, especially when it's hot and humid.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it good out there is because it's hot.
It's hot. It's not humid, but
it's just hot.
Real hot.
Yeah, you don't want to be out there right now.
No, I don't. Unless I'm in the Sphere. I want to go see the Sphere really badly. Like, I think the Eagles are playing out there in like August and September, and that would be super cool.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know much about this because I just sent it to you the other day, but the UFO at Red Rock.
Oh, yeah.
So once we get some more information, we'll have to talk about that, unless you've already read some stuff on it.
No, I read an article when it originally came out because that was just last month, I think, or well, it's July 4th. It has to be at least last month.
So my thing with this one is, if there's that many people saw it, you're at a concert. I know people's fucking phones are out. Where's the video? There's got to be videos somewhere.
Well, I don't know if it was during a concert because I think it was workers that had seen it. So it was either probably way earlier or way after.
All right. Okay. Because, the article.
Yeah, if it was during can you imagine? Can you imagine being at Red Rocks watching a show and a UFO shows up? Like,
man,
my goodness.
Because I'll be out there in a couple weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, going on.
What band would you want to see playing if that scenario played out?
Not the fucking one I'm going to go watch. That's for sure. Because I really don't like them, but whatever. I'm just along for the ride, but we're going out to watch Guster. But what song would I want to listen to during an alien invasion? Boy, you caught me off guard on that one.
No, well, not specifically just a generic alien invasion. You were at Red Rocks watching a concert, and the spaceship shows up.
Honestly, I think a fucking Leonard Skinner concert would be just badass.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that fits.
I just think it has it would have the sweet, cool vibe to it, and then all of a sudden, like, what if like they're playing Sweet Home Alabama, right? And all of a sudden, this big saucer just comes right over top, like, all right, man, here we go, Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic. That's a good one. That's a good one.
What do you got?
I don't know. I just came up with the question. I hadn't really thought about it. Leonard Skinner is a good one. One of my favorite shows that I've seen recently, and I think it would be perfect for that situation, was Government Mule each year covers Dark Side of the Moon, and they call the concert Dark Side of the Mule. So they play Dark Side of the Moon front to back, and they'll do some other stuff. I think that would be what I'd want to see when the spaceship shows up.
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
That's legit. All right. So I think that's going to end this one, bud.
Yeah. Well, that was good.
That was good. I mean, it was, again, sorry to our listeners out there who was expecting something else. We just, it is what it is, man. Herding cats. We're all adults and we got stuff going on in our life. I didn't tell you I played golf all week. I was off all this week.
Yeah.
So I think I drank more than golf. We'll just put it that way because, the golf was there. Like, yeah. I sent you that message, right, where I shot, I think it was like an 86, which seems for the average golfer a great round. But when you have four or five pars and a birdie and you still shoot a fucking 86, it was horrible. Like, a lot of blow-up holes. Anywho. All right. Brian, if you don't have anything else.
Hold on. I need to... So, talking about drinking too much and playing less golf, I was on Twitter yesterday, and I read this, and you saying that just made me think about it. And I don't know if this is BS or not, but I thought it was interesting. The drink cart in golf, right? So you've got, if you're lucky, the drink cart's driving around, you can buy beers, as it shows up throughout the round.
Right.
I always thought that was cool, but I was on Twitter, and I've got all these different golf feeds, and one of them said that the beverage cart was invented because of Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra playing golf, and they didn't want to do it without drinks. So the clubhouse started a cart with drinks on it for them.
Oh, that'd be badass if that was actually true.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I was like, that's pretty cool.
No, I think that's, yeah. I think that's pretty sweet. It is, if you look at a lot of the different things that are out there and you always wonder, like, where'd this even come from? I mean, the beer cart very well could have come from something just as simple as that.
Mike, if that's true, and because it's the 4th of July and I like drinking beer and playing golf, probably have to listen to some Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra tonight. Class it up a little bit.
Is that what we're listening to?
I don't know. Maybe.
Better than the presidential debate.
Yeah.
That was a fucking rough night. Anywho. If you wanted a drinking game that night.
Boy, you could come up with one really easy.
Oh, my God. Yeah. But we're not a political show, so we're going to move on.
Yep.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in and listening. Don't forget to share with your friends. Give us a like, download the episode, send us your feedback, any experiences you may have. We're always willing to take a look, and if we'll read them on air.
Yeah. Make sure you have a happy and safe 4th of July out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep all 8 fingers and 2 thumbs.
So keep your mind open and your eyes on the sky. You never know what's going to fly by.
And with that, we'll catch you on the next one.